Could a tax overhaul be on its way? President-elect Donald Trump looking to reconfigure our impossibly complex tax code, hoping to make it simpler and more conducive to growth. Joining me now is Jonathan Burkan, Stanley Wealth Management Senior Vice President. Great to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Happy holidays to you and your
family.
Happy
holidays to you. Happy Merry Christmas. In particular, let's talk about core beliefs. A lot of folks are kind of upset that there aren't more tax cutters or people known to be tax cutters in the administration. People like Larry Kudlow and Steve Moore and Steve Forbes and so forth. But the core belief, I believe, when you hear Donald Trump talk, is that incentives matter. If that you have more incentives for people to keep more of what they earn or corporations to keep more of what they earn, you will have greater growth in the society. He believes in that core belief of tax cutters, does he not?
I believe he does. I believe he does. And I think they're trying, the proposal is to cut the corporate rate to 15%. That's the proposal that's in front of Congress right now.
And that is more than half. So you'd go from close to, it says 35% there, but when you add the extras with the Obamacare tax and everything, it can be up to 40%, down to 15%. Huge cut in corporate taxes and a similar cut in personal taxes. Do you think that that will increase our growth?
I think so, and I think what's dramatic is you could go from 7 brackets to 3 brackets. The top rate from 39.6 to 33%. This is all potentially. We don't know if it's going to happen. But I think the biggest potential shock is they're talking about potentially capping deductions at $200,000. And that would be a very big deal for charitable giving. Very big deal.
A lot of nonprofits will probably be worried about that because they want sort of unlimited deductions for charitable giving, right?
Absolutely. I mean, hypothetically right now, if someone gives $10 million to a university, they get a $10 million tax deduction. If that became law next year, about $200,000, that donor would be capped at $200,000. So I'm sure a lot of nonprofits are really looking at this now, and a lot of donors are looking at this now, deciding whether they should be making donations before the end of the year, and they would only have 9 days left to make that decision.
Now, there will be pushback on this, a lot of pushback. The nonprofit organizations have a lot of power inside the Beltway. They have a lot of contacts within Congress to try to push back on this. I'm sure they don't want those deductions to be capped at all.
I can imagine if you're running a nonprofit, you would want no cap on deductions. I mean, and technically speaking, the higher the tax rate, the better for charitable deductions for them. So,
but does Donald have what it takes to stand up to those lobbyists? He says he does. He says he will. Will he? Do you believe he will?
I can't speak for Mr. Trump. I don't know. I think that there are proposals, though, in front of Congress to do this, and it's possible it could happen. So I tell everyone, my clients, people I know, they have to think about this, talk to their accountants, because this could go to $200,000 next year. But they're talking about cutting the investment tax, the 3.8% Obamacare investment tax. That is on the chopping block as well. So that's another issue for long-term gains.
But bottom line, if you're thinking of contributing more than $200,000 and getting your deductions, you should do it now, this year, because it might go away.
You can put money into a donor-advised fund, a family foundation. That giving could go for years, but you would get the deduction now if you wanted to do it this year.
Jonathan Burkan, good to see you, sir. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Lauren.